my third time recording this video. My voice is a little shot, so I'm so sorry. But anyway, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a little bit of a breakdown. So I'm gonna start trying to upload a little bit daily for you guys. Going through school and just doing some things like that, it's gonna be a little bit harder for me. So on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, expect a little bit more of a lengthy breakdown. I'm just gonna try and get into my grind for you guys, and we're gonna really try to take this channel off. Go hit that subscribe button right now. Being early. Won't be one of those people. Be one of make yourself feel good when we absolutely take off. Like, we know it's gonna be crazy. Go sub right now. So anyway, we got a little bit of a track reaction kind of breakdown. We're gonna be breaking down some block starts, so let's get right into it. So as I said before, I'm going to be doing some kind of shorter videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and Monday, Wednesday, Friday we're gonna be doing some longer videos, and then I'm gonna enjoy the weekend because I'm a human being after all. So for today's quick video, we're going to be breaking down some block starts. Preferably on the left here we have world famous Noah Lyles, and on the right we have Andre DeGrasse, who just absolutely took the Tokyo Olympics by storm, winning multiple gold medals. So when coming out of the blocks, we want to look for a couple things. One of them things being in the start position or the set position. So when we come up into the set position right here, there's a couple things that I want to look for. Number one is leg placement. As you can see right here on both athletes, that front leg is at a perfect 90-degree angle. This does multiple things for us, like stability and everything, but this is where all of our explosion is going to come from. It's going to come from our hips, it's going to come from our knee, and it's going to be coming from pushing those blocks back as hard as we can. So right here, we got 90 degrees. This back leg can kind of dwell behind because it's got a farther distance to go, but you want this as close to 90 degrees as well to get as much power as you physically can out of the blocks. The number two, what I look for is the hip placement. As you can see, both athletes have their hips raised above their head. This is making sure that they're in a nice athletic position, and once again, this is where all of our power is going to come from, is from our hips. And the last thing I want to look for in the start position is the lean. Not a lot of people do this, but I think it's very, very helpful for new people to kind of get a feel for it. And you can see a great example here on Noah Lyles. Look at his arm. It's going backwards a little bit. His shoulder is leaned over his hands, and that just creates the center of gravity, starts going forward a little bit, starts rolling down the track. You want to be going down the track. After all, the point is to go one direction as fast as humanly possible in track. But then you can see the other case that people like Andre DeGrasse don't really adapt this, but his head is still down and he's still leaning a little bit. It's very, very important. Noah Lyles has a very pronounced or over exaggerated lean that it depends on how you feel, basically. Oh, also I'm gonna say that these aren't going to be very beginning tutorials. So if you guys want to see a beginning tutorial on how to come out of blocks, if you guys are like really new to track and field, I can do a video about that. Let me know down in the comments below. Other than that, let's get into when the gun actually goes off, when the race begins. All right, so gun has gone off. Let's look at the first step right here. This is great right here. So the number one thing we want to look for in this first step is we want to keep our back leg that's coming forward as our first step to be very low to the ground. So that's very, very important. We want to keep that low to the ground. We want to keep our feet on the ground as much as possible when we're running, because that is when we're putting force. That's when we're moving forward. That's when we're moving. You cannot move in the air. That is not how it works. Unless you're some sort of magician or something, like you can tell me your secrets, like if you can move in the air. But that's the point. Just DM me or something. Anyway, the next thing we want to look for is the straight line theorem, or something. I want to say theorem. That's a really technical term. We want to be looking for a straight line through the athlete's body, and what I mean by this is, look at Mr. DeGrasse over here. I could draw a straight line from the middle of his foot straight up his leg, through his hip bone, up his spine, through to the tippy top of his head. You can also see this in Noah Lyles. He has a straight line. He could be a little bit straighter, but I believe I just caught this in a bad frame. He's in a very, very straight line to the top of his head, and that's very, very important. That means we're not, so if this is where we want to be, we're not too up. That means we're running up the track, and if we're leaning too far down, that means we're running down into the ground. We want our energy to be transferred straight out And that streamline is the best physical way of doing that. Another thing that I want to point out in this first step is nice, big, powerful arm swings. You can see right here on Andre DeGrasse, he's got a nice big back. This, you can't see it because my camera's being dumb, but long arm swing, generating power from other parts of the body, getting everything he possibly can out of his body. Noah Lyles also has a great 90-degree bend here, also getting some power. The next thing we're going to pay attention to is the second step coming out of the blocks. And my second step is always, I want to focus on staying close to the ground. I want to stay as close to the ground as possible. Noah Lyles is very, very good at this, so we're going to use him for this example. Watch this second leg as it's coming through. Look at this toe. He is literally physically dragging it across. You don't want to be, dragging it, but you want to be just keeping that toe. I just hit my elbow. That really hurt. You want to be keeping that toe. You want to be keeping that toe on the ground as to keep it the distance as short as possible. So that was really, really good. Andre comes up a little bit. That's just more kind of a preference thing, but the quicker you can get back to the ground, the better you'll be, because like I said, we cannot move in the air. It is when we're on the ground that we're actually moving. Once again, we can see the streamline from midfoot to head. Andre is doing a great job of this. He's still in that position even though he has switched legs now. He's still in that very powerful position that we can put our bodies in. And once again, arms are pumping here. We want to be gaining as much speed as we physically can in these first 3 steps. And then from here, it's just straight power. You don't want to be cycling. That's just a quick little thing I want to say. You don't want to be cycling like when you get up to full speed. Here you want to be driving your knees kind of down. You want to almost lock yourself at the hips and pivot on your hip bones. You don't want to be at your knees. But as you can see, Noah Lyles' foot will never come very, very high. It'll never come up and cycle and touch his butt. It's being pushed down the track as fast as humanly possible. And then from here, we're just running. We're trying to get to our top speed as fast as possible. Legs are right underneath us, right where they're supposed to be. When they touch the ground, I ran out of time, but when they touch the ground, they're right underneath of us. So right there, our foot is right underneath us, supporting us, getting as much speed as physically possible from each step. So that's going to do it for me, guys. If you want a more in-depth video about this, I could definitely do a coming out of blocks tutorial. If you guys want to see that, go ahead and make sure you are subbed and hit that notification bell. We're here to get better. We're all here to get better. So I'm going to help you along on that journey and share the knowledge that I've accumulated over the years. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.